Hello, everyone, and welcome to another evening of stamping. My name is Sarah Simon. I gotta get that bright light out of there. There we go. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm in a very snowy Appleton, Wisconsin. Thank you guys all for joining me. It looks like we've got Julie, Kelly, Nancy, Mary, Amanda, who have jumped on already. I'm so glad that you guys could join me. Oh, all of a sudden I went live and I'm like, shoot, I didn't grab the Christmas cards, my happy mail that I got to share. And so I had to quickly go and grab what I had in my kitchen. So I maybe have more, but I had what has come in the last few days. Hello, Becky. Um, Tonight, I apologize so much for last week. Like I said, it was one of those weeks where like every minute that I was not at work was pretty much planned for me because I had so much going on. And then all of a sudden, Lila was at my mom and dad's, and they're like, I think she's got an ear infection again. And so I scheduled an appointment. I didn't do an emergency one because I didn't want to have to pay that much money again. So I ended up scheduling an appointment for Thursday morning, which that then threw me completely off because that's when I was going to plan my cards. So, anyway, I still, even with this week, I had ideas of what I was going to do, and I had one card done, and then I'm like, yep, I know what I'm going to do for the other card, and then I was going to do a treat holder. I'll show you the treat holder. You can kind of see it behind me. I made this little treat holder. So next week I'll show you how to do this because these are kind of fun. And maybe I'll even hop on earlier. I just didn't get a chance to get it all typed up when I got home from work today. And I even came home from work early, but it's been a lot of really late nights again. And so I took a nap this afternoon for about 40 minutes. And I woke up and I was like, oh, I still have to get the directions written for my cards and stuff like that. Hello, Linda and Kay and Sarah and Karen. So yesterday was, I don't know if any of you are friends with me on Facebook, but I posted the post that I had put on our parish website. Middle school, I mean, my job has been going great. I've loved it. Elementary, piece of cake. Love those kids, love all of it. High school has been really, really good. And that's kind of where I've spent most of my career. So I kind of expected that high school would be okay. Middle school has been a bit of a challenge. Middle school teachers are a different breed and they are going straight to heaven. But they're at an awkward age, right? They're just trying to find themselves and they want to make sure that they're cool and everything else. And so, but last night I gave them a little talking to before we went to an assisted living facility. And I just said to them, tonight, I want you to not care what anybody else thinks of you. Do not worry about it. I want you to sing your hearts out when we're singing songs. I want you to do it for these elderly people. That's your Christmas gift to them. Some of them will not get any other Christmas gifts and will not get a lot of people to visit them. And so I want you to do it. And I gave them some possible questions. They talked with them for like 15 minutes. The buzz on our bus on the way home, they were so excited and telling all the stories of all the people that they talked to and how cool the people were. And then it's kind of cool because my aunt is also at that assisted living facility. And she sent me a text this morning and she said, I went to exercise class and all the people were still talking about last night and how cool it was. And their activities director has been there for 3 years. And she said, this is the coolest thing that we've done in 3 years. So it was a special night. So I was able to video record. The very last thing that the residents wanted us to do was to turn off all the lights except for the Christmas tree lights. And they wanted to sing Silent Night. That's what Tabitha, the director or the activities director, told me they wanted to do. So I videotaped it, and our kids, even the middle school boys, were just singing so loud. And I showed it to our pastor today when I got to work. And he came over a little bit later in the day and he said, I know that video clip was a little bit long. Could you cut me out like about 30 seconds of it so that I can use it at the very end of my homily on Sunday? And I'm like, yeah, of course. So it's kind of cool that joy is going to be spread throughout all the parish. So that's kind of cool. And the other people will get to see how cool they were. So that's enough about me. How about if we get to my Happy Mail that I got. Okay, look at this beautiful. I don't know if you can see that light green paper is like a shimmery paper. I love this card. It's so simple but beautiful. This is from Marcia Cullibert. It was a Christmas card. And then I think this one came in the mail yesterday or today. This is from Anna Revedue. Look at those birds. They're so pretty. And I love this ribbon with those little dots and stuff on it. Oh, those pom-poms. Very cute. And then this Christmas card came from Lori Workman. Look at that. Isn't that cute with all these little punches that she put on there? How much work is all of that? Because it's not like she punched it and you can see them through. She like glued all those little things on there. Beautiful card, Lori. And then this beautiful card, this is like a bigger size. So this is what our normal size is. Look at that's like, it's kind of like a normal size that you would get, I think, in a card store. So this is from Mary Van Donlen, and Mary's on here. Well, look at that beautiful card. And then she even has a little poinsettia on the inside too. Thank you, Mary. And then this is from Marge, who's on my team. Look at that. I love that shepherd. He's so awesome. And then this is from one of her friends. And this is a fun fold. This is from Kay. And this like opens. This was one of the fun folds that I did not too long ago. So very pretty cards, ladies. Thank you so, so much. Let's see. Ooh, I have an announcement to make. We have free shipping going on right now. Okay, this goes until tomorrow. On orders of $75 or more, you can get free shipping. Now, it's just the standard shipping. It's not expedited shipping. There's not a deal on that at all. So, I just wanted to bring it to your attention because this is a super great deal. I still have to place my order. Yesterday was too crazy. And then today, like I said, I came home from work early because I went in at the regular time. Usually the day after a 12-hour day, I'll go in a little bit later. But I was so fired up to get to work and tell everybody about last night that I went in at the regular time, and then I left like about noon. And I'm taking tomorrow off so that I can work on stuff for my team Christmas party so that there's something for you guys on Saturday. I'm so looking forward to that, but I have to cut everything for my make and takes. And I have a couple of other things that I just have to get ready, like wrap some of the prizes and do some of that stuff. So I'm so excited to take tomorrow off too. So, but free shipping, I will be getting my order in either tonight or tomorrow. I usually like to stock up on some things. Usually I stock up on liquid glue, but really I know somebody said it's like super chilly by them. We're supposed to get super chilly too. -45, Julie said. Oh my goodness. We're supposed to be getting that. I think they said it's supposed to be coming on Saturday and Sunday, maybe. I don't know. I haven't watched the news other than I know that it's coming. But I do not like to order liquid glue when it's that cold. I don't know if anyone else has had a problem with it, but when that liquid glue freezes and when it's in your box and stuff, like it's sitting on your porch where they drop it and then it freezes. I find that when it when it thaws out, that it isn't the same consistency. So if you're going to be stocking up on things and you live in a really cold area, I wouldn't do the liquid glue unless you absolutely have to. Like I said, I did in fall when they had free shipping. I think I got like about 20 bottles of liquid glue so that I'm good for the rest of the winter. Because I don't like to ship that during the winter. So let's see. I think that's all I have to share. And I have 3 cards today. So what I decided to do is I had a card Stamp-A-Stack, not Card Buffet. I had a Stamp-A-Stack. So there were 4 designs. They made 3 of each one. And each one of them was a little bit different color. Let me show you. I did use some of my cards already, so I don't have all of them. Oh goodness, I thought I set those here to show you. I've got piles of all of the stuff that I'm going to be making. I'm like looking underneath my computer. I swear that's where it was sitting, right on this pile. Oh, here it is. I see it. They got mixed in with other stuff. and grab them. I just don't want to fall off my chair. I could just see me like scooching out the other way because I'm reaching too far. Let's see, I'm missing one. Oh, here it is. All right. I have all of the cards in different stacks here, so that's why they just got buried. So I made this card. Okay, and we are going to do the fun fold with this card later, this design. So I'm not making these exactly. But what I decided I would do is that I would show you and give you the dimensions for how to make this layout. And I would use some of our new products so that you can get a chance to see some of the product that's going to be coming out on our new catalog. So let me go ahead and switch my camera. Ooh, there we are. Okay. I'm winning. It works. It's a little bit crooked. Let's see if I can straighten this a little bit. Oh, I think it's my mat that was a little bit crooked. All right, so this is our new catalog, and I cannot open it yet. And those of you that can, do I know when the Festive Friends stamp come? Julie, remind me that at the end, and I will go ahead and I will open up that website and I will look for that to see when it's coming back. Or if anyone's a demonstrator and wants to look that up for her and let her know when it's coming back, that would be great too. Stampin' Up! Also did put its last chance list. I have not had a chance to go through. Usually I do a video and let you know what's staying and what's going. I will try to get to that. I don't want to promise over the weekend, but I will try. We are celebrating Christmas with my brother and sister-in-law who can't come at Christmas time on Sunday. And I have my 9th and 10th grade class on Sunday morning. Then I'm going to do that with my family on Sunday afternoon. And I have my team Christmas party on Saturday until 2 o'clock. So if it gets done, it'll get done between 2 o'clock and when I have to be at work at like quarter to 7 a.m. on Sundays. So just I'll let you know if I get it done and can go live with all that. All right, so this is the new catalog. Those of you that came to my Stampin' Stack that are customers, you got yours then because I wanted to see if I could give them to people in their hands and not have to mail them because shipping this time of the year is so touch and go. Like sometimes it takes forever. Sometimes things don't show up because there's so much stuff that's going through. So I will try to get these out in the mail as well next week. I'm going to take a couple of days off next week. I found out that I have like 100 hours of vacation that I have to use and 9.5 hours of personal time before the December 31st. They did tell me I could carry some over if I don't use it all. So I am going to be taking a few days of vacation. With the new job, I really didn't take a lot this summer because there was a lot to learn and stuff. So this is the new catalog. It's beautiful. And I did do my unboxing live a few weeks ago. So I wanted to like take a look at some of the things that are in there. And that's what I used for some of my products today. Okay, Becky said you can pick it up on your way to school. Oh, that's awesome. So I'll connect with you, Becky. I could also send it with Danny, who goes to the girls' games, and she could just give it to you in the concession stand if there's a time when you're going to be at a girls' game. All right, let me set that aside and let me bring out, oh, I have it over here. Ooh. This paper is called Splash of Sparkles. Splash of Sparkles. And it is not part of a suite of products. It is kind of a standalone. So this is what we have for one of the designs. I'm going to set that over here. And then we have these blocks. Along one of the sides has gold stuff in. So it's got little stripes. Whoops. All right. And then I'm using this one. Oops, I'm using this one in tonight. So I only have one sheet of it. And that's what's on the back. So some of it is holographic and some of it is gold. It kind of varies. And this one I'm also using tonight. So that's one side. And there's the other side, and that's Pretty in Pink. And I used it with Pretty in Pink and Highland Heather. And it's got that holographic. Hi, Kathy Miller. Hello, Patty Skiba. Let's see who else jumped in. All right. And then we have this pattern with that on the back, which is really kind of busy. But if you have like a teenage girl for a birthday card or even a younger girl, look at that holographic. They will think this is like the coolest thing, right? All right, then we have this rainbowy pattern with that on the back. And that's it. Okay, I'm going to set these because they're going to fall if I keep them here. And again, this is called Splash of Sparkles. It has Azure Afternoon, Balmy Blue, Bubble Bath, Daffodil Delight, Highland Heather, Lemon Lolly, Pool Party, Pretty in Pink, Shaded Spruce, Timid Tiger, Gold, and Holographic. So I thought it was kind of cool. So I thought, since it doesn't belong to a like a family, like a what do I want to call a suite of products, that I would use that. Okay, so I used that paper to make that card that I just showed you with the sympathy cards. So these are the dimensions for that. Now, this is some of the designer paper. I'm going to actually stamp right on that. I'm going to do that for 2 of the cards that I make tonight. It's just a different technique that you can use. And so that is that. Our card base is 4 1/4 by 11, and I used Pretty in Pink for this, and I scored it at 5 1/2. Okay, then you're going to take another coordinating cardstock from your designer paper. So I used Highland Heather, and this is 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, so 3 3/4 by 5. And then you need to pick, this is my inside neutral layer. It's basic white, and that's 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to leave that out because we're going to add something to it. All right, then for your designer paper for on the front, you picked 2 patterns. So I picked the plain one, which was this pink. Okay, like that, just a little bit plainer. And then I used this more like bold pattern for the other one. Hi, Betty. No problem. We're just getting started with the first card. All right. So the plain one piece measures 1 inches by 2 3/4, and that's your lower left. The other one measures 1 1/2 by 2, and that is your upper right. Okay. Then your plain one, your busier one, you have one that measures 2 by 2, and that is your upper left. And then you have one that measures 2 1/4 by 2 3/4, and that's going to be your lower right. Okay, so that's how that pattern goes together like that. And then we're just going to glue those down. Pretty easy, right? So let me go ahead and you can cut a whole bunch of these at once. Like when I was cutting these for my Stamp-A-Stack, I cut a strip that was 2 inches, and then I just cut 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, so I could make a whole bunch of them. Same thing here. I cut this by 1 1/2, and then I cut it by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Cut this by 1 and cut it at 2 3/4, 2 3/4, and 2 1/4, and cut it at 2 3/4. So it was super easy to cut and make a whole bunch of these at once. So you could make these with a bunch of different greetings. I'm going to show you. I used the oh, what are the name of those dies that I used for mine? They're sitting right here. They are on sale, so I should probably let you know that they are on sale, right? Here they are. Traditional labels. So these traditional labels are now 10% off. They're on the last chance list. So I used these 2 right here for my sympathy cards that I made. But I'm going to use something different for this card because I wanted to show you could do a lot of different things with this. So the other one was so subdued and so tranquil and so, I guess, beautiful. And this one is just kind of fun, right? You've got all different kinds of people for all different kinds of occasions. So All right, then in our Valentine bundle, oh, Festive Friend stamp set is to be determined. Thank you, is that Jean Maxwell? Thank you. It's so hard now that Stampin' Up did, or not Stampin' Up, YouTube did where they put your at and your address instead of doing that. I really like my Facebook people because it still says Kathy Miller and it says Sarah Marquardt, and I know who it is. All right, so this is actually Bubble Bath and not Pretty in Pink, but I thought it was close enough. And because this is really a little bit lighter than Pretty in Pink, I thought it would work. So I ended up wrapping this around here, and I'm going to tie the bow. Instead of tying the bow on the right side like I did in my other one, I'm going to do it on my left side. Doesn't really matter. You can tie it on the right. You can tie it on the left. Probably have more ribbon here than I need. I was talking and not paying attention. All right, so I'm going to tie a bow, or attempt to tie a bow. Let's see how we do here. I'm doing much better now that I had a nap. I'm going to tell you. My hair looks like crap because I was laying on the couch and I woke up and I'm like, ooh, my hair's not looking too good, but I got to go live. But I'm like, oh, well, it was important to get that nap in. Now I can start cutting some cardstock tonight. And designer paper. I have a lot of designer paper to cut. I have 3 different designs that are used on the card that I made for my make and take for our team meeting. And I still have to finish, believe it or not, my Christmas cards. You would think I'd have them done by now, but I do not. I'm also going to take a glue dot. I like to put my knot down so it kind of stays in place where I want it. Hello, Jan. All right, so I'm going to just kind of pop a little glue dot down there where the knot is and just press that into place to kind of hold it where I want it. And it's okay that it's twisting here a little bit because I'm going to cover that with a label anyway. All right, let's use our bone folder here. I can get this out of here. There we go. All right, and I'm just going to use regular either seal or you could use liquid glue. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to set that on there. Put the glue dot up too high. Let me move that down a little bit. All right. For the inside, the greeting that I put on the outside is just to brighten your day. And I thought it could be used for anything. I could put a thinking of you. Kathy's going to send New Year's cards this year. Yeah, I thought about that too, Kathy. It's like, oh my gosh, how do I not get that done? It's because we're making so many other cards for other people to make, actually. We're not making them for other people. We're making them, we're cutting everything for them to make. I did cut a piece of that paper. I didn't put it on here, but this is about 3/8 of an inch wide by 4 inches long. And I'm just going to put that along the bottom. And then when I go to send this card, because it's an any occasion type card, if I want to put thank you, if I want to put thinking of you, if I want to put happy birthday, this could really be used for any occasion. So I kept it blank for now, just so that I could actually use it for something that I need. Like I need birthday cards for my 9th and 10th graders who have their birthdays in December, or if because their birthday's in June, I give them birthday cards at class. So I've got to do that for Sunday. So I wouldn't have to make any if I can take some of the ones that I have. So I cut this out of our Spotlight on Nature dies. And this is really holographic. It's not silver, but to me, it looked a little bit silvery. So I thought that this would just kind of go with that. And I also cut out, this is a 1 7/8 inch circle, and that's in the Highland Heather. Hi, Julie. And then I took the same designer paper and I brought it back in because it was so like subtle that I thought I can stamp right on that. So I found this Sharing Love Crafting, Loving and Crafting. And the reason I got that is if you ever decide that you want to sell your cards that you make and you're using Stampin' Up! Products, you must give them credit for the stamps that you're using by having a copyright. And this stamp set has one of those that you can just stamp in the back. It also has the handcrafted by where you can sign your name. There's a lot of different greetings in here. It's really nice for demonstrators, but I loved this just to brighten your day. So I am going to use that stamp, whoa, along with some Highland Heather ink on this designer paper. Look at that. There it is. I tested it to make sure that my ink was dark enough and that I didn't have to re-ink it, because it's been a long time since we've had a paper that has had Highland Heather in it. And we've got a couple, well, actually, this one's Fresh Freesia. It's not Highland Heather. But I haven't really stamped with Highland Heather. I guess it was in that lilac paper. It was in there. But other than that, we really haven't had anything. All right, so I am going to punch this out with our 1 3/4. So this was 1 7/8, and then this is going to be 1 3/4. And you could almost go to 1 1/2 on this because there is a lot of pink left over, but I thought it looked just fine like that. So I'm going to add that to this purple. So there's just a little bit of that Highland Heather coming through. And then I will add that to this. I always think that this looks like the bottom of like a soda can. Beautiful paper makes a beautiful card. That is so true, Sue. All right. And then, I don't know, I have 2 of these in there. I must have thought that I put it in. Oh, you know what? I have 3 of them in there. Look at that. I was really wanting to make sure that I was covered. All right, I'm going to take, I kind of have my ribbon twisted here a little bit. So I'm going to try to keep this twisted part. I'm actually going to take a little tape and keep the twisted part like right in that center where I know I can cover it. There we go. So this is straight and that's straight. And then we'll just pop that up on some dimensionals right there. Oh, when I saw this paper, I'm like, I've got to try this paper. It's just so different. It's really not me. I'm going to tell you that. I'm more of a florally type person, but I ended up getting the one that has like all the little bugs and stuff like that on it, because I thought the worms and the ladybugs and stuff, I thought that was so cute. And a lot of the ladies in my stamp club have grandkids. And so I'm thinking, not stamp club, but they come to my card buffet. I was thinking I could make a kid's card with that. But it doesn't even really have to be a kid's card. It has like a red and kind of like a crumb cake check and stuff like that. It's really cute. All right, so there is our card just to brighten your day. And when I go to send it, I will put some sort of a greeting in there depending on who I'm sending it to and for what occasion. And then I thought, since I ended up bringing that silver in, that I would pull some gems in that were also silver. So these are the metallic gems. And we have those purple, they're like sequence dots, I think they're called, or something. They're really pretty as well. I thought of those and I went and looked at those, and then I was like, no, let's just do the silver. I haven't done the silver in a while. And I did have my take your picky tool here. Here we go. And I'm just going to take a small one and a large one and put it up there. And then I think I'm just going to put a small one down there. Woohoo! There we go. We've got our first card. Well, it's not my first card. I made a Valentine card with the Valentine suite already, but there's the first one that I've done on video. Look at how that shines with some of the new products. So this product will be available beginning on January, I think it's the 6th, January 6th. It's usually a Tuesday. So just so you remember that. And I will try to get these catalogs out in the mail to you as well. I believe this is in here and not an online exclusive. But even if it's an online exclusive, it will be available on January, the same time, January 6th. Let me look. Can't put it on the camera, sorry. Let's see. Okay, so we've got our beach boardwalk. This might actually be an online exclusive paper that's coming. Let's see. Oh, goodness. I wish I could just show you. Yep, I think this is an online exclusive. I do not believe it's in here. And I can send those out to you as well. Okay, yep, this is an online exclusive. I do not see it in here. Okay, I'm just looking at the front because it's not in the back. Okay, good. Hopefully you didn't see any of that. Okay, so there is our first card used with a little bit older product, used with some newer products and some older gems that kind of go with it. All right, and then this is our new ribbon. All right, let me set this. I'm going to get my directions in here so that you can have it. And I can actually bring those other cards back in here. Goodness gracious, Sarah, where did you put them? Oh, I put them over here. Too many piles of things. So these were the ones that were done with the Brushed with Beauty. Okay, so I did 3 different colors with the different patterns. And again, whoops, let's do it the right way. I did the sympathy on the left side and the knot, and just with a little bit of twine on the right side. You don't even have to wrap that around there either. You could just do it without having the twine on there as well. But those are the dimensions of all of those little pieces. So hopefully you can get a screenshot of that. I know some people that were here for the Stamp a Stack said, oh, thanks, Kathy. Yep, online exclusive for this paper. Had said, oh gosh, this would be so easy to make for a lot of different things, and it's really quick to put together, and it really is. All right, so there is card number 1. Let me get all of this stuff out of here. Let me get the punch. I'm going to put the punch over here because it goes behind me. I'll set this over here so I can show you at the end. Oops, it fell. All right, card number 2. Put it somewhere so it's not going to fall. There we go. Card number 2 is going to be using product that comes from the new catalog as well. And I don't have the one that I made for my Stamp a Stack because I used all of them for birthday cards for my confirmation kids last Sunday. I'm like, oh, I got 3 of these and I made 2 more of them real quick. And so I ended up giving them those cards. So I don't have any of those to show you. But this is an ephemera pack that has, it's vellum with some gold outline and gold embossing. So the reason I put this out here is I'm going to, at the end, give you a vote of how to kind of jazz up the card and kind of add some different embellishments. So I have this as an option. I also have some die cuts, and I have some ribbon that you can choose from. So we'll do a little vote when we get to the end, and we're ready for that. All right. This also has these gems, which we're going to use. These are called pearlized faceted, and they have like kind of like a really light pink or almost white. And then there's a really lighter pink. And then there's like a calypso coral. Here is the, oh my goodness. These flowers are really big, but even when I cut the paper apart, it still looked beautiful. So I didn't even care that the flowers, that it was such a big pattern. All right, so this is called Lovely and Beautiful, and it's Calypso Coral, Darling Duckling, Fresh Freesia, Old Olive, Peach Pie, Petal Pink, and a gold foil on one side. So this is one side. Here's the other side. We're actually going to use this. I have not done a peach pie card in a really long time. So I decided out of all of this, when I saw it had peach pie, I'm like, let's do peach pie. I haven't done that in a while. All right. So that's design number 1. This has gold in the center of it. And this is Old Olive and Fresh Freesia little flowers. And then the back has this beautiful, look at how that goes together. Oh, this would be a perfect designer paper to use when you want to use both sides, because those two go together really well. All right. Then we have this one. Let's see which way. I don't know if there's a right or a wrong way. Okay. And this has, again, little Fresh Freesia flowers on the back and these beautiful flowers. This you could color in if you wanted to, or you could just leave it gold like that. And then the back is these fun little peach pie, Fresh Freesia, Old Olive. I was going to use this, but then I ended up using that other one that I showed you. And then we have this pattern with the bigger flowers. And then we've got that on the back. And that's, I think that's a petal pink. And then we have these petal pink, and look at that on the back. So really all of these papers, I feel you could use both sides if you wanted to, together in a card, like if you wanted to. I'm using two different patterns in mine. I think I'm using two different patterns. Or did I end up using, I don't remember if I used the back side. Okay, so again, the name of that is Lovely and Beautiful. It's one of the, what we call a super suite, because it has two bundles that go with it. And so the bundles are beautifully created. So this is the stamp set. These are the dies. Now, what I found was, I showed you how I tucked the little flap in so that it was easy for me to just grab these like this. What I found is the stamp sets have the name on them right here. The dies say Stamp and Cut and Emboss, and the name is down here, and it's really small, especially for someone who's like almost 60 years old. And I kind of have to either go like this, stretch it out, or so I ended up printing it on a little label and put it over here so that it's easier for me to find the name quicker. I'm getting old. Okay, then we've got Simply Beautiful, and then we've got the die cuts that are in that to form the flowers. So these I love. I haven't played with these little corners here. I think they're supposed to be the little corners for that, but I did try to stamp our greeting that we're using in here, and it didn't quite fit right. It probably should have been in the bigger one, and the bigger one was just a little bit too big for the cards. But I did die cut these as some possible options for decorating our card at the end. So I'll show you what those die cuts look like. All right, so those are our bundles. And then this is the ribbon, and this will be one of your options to add ribbon to it, or to add some other things to the card to kind of add some embellishment. So that is our ribbon, and it is gold and white, I think. Yeah, white with gold, metallic. What do they call it? Wit met Guden Lint. I don't know what that means. So, oh, here, it probably says it on here. No, it just says gold and white. All right. That was funny. All right, here are the measurements for this card. And I'm going to do this first part with you so that you understand what I mean for that. So I'm using, for my card base, I am using thick basic white. I like to use thick when it's my card base because our regular basic white is not as thick as our other cardstock, and our thick basic white is. So this right now is 8.5 by 5.5. We're going to score it at 4 1/4, and then we're going to cut off some of it to make like a little barn door almost. Our cardstock is, ooh, I'm missing one. Okay, I have to cut one. We'll cut that. This piece is 4 1/8 by 2 3/8. And this is peach pie. And I have to cut a peach pie at 4 by 5 1/4. I'm not sure why I didn't cut that. All right, then I have a neutral cardstock that I didn't cut as well. So there we go. I missed the inside layers of this card. Unless I cut them and they're sitting on my shelf here somewhere. You know, I just did this today. I don't know why I couldn't have done it a little bit better. So you're going to have, again, you're going to pick one design of designer paper that's a little bit plainer. And that I did with this little check. And this is 4 by 2 3/4. And then you're going to pick one that's a little bit busier. So I did this floral, and this is 4 by 2 1/4. So let me grab some peach pie. Oh my goodness, I have to open a whole new pack. Well, maybe that's why I didn't cut it, because I had to open a pack to do it. I don't know. I do not see it sitting on my counter at all. Let's see. Oh, now I just laid all of that stuff I put behind me. I put it right on my trimmer. All right, let's get my trimmer the correct way. We're going to go 4 by 5 1/4 for this. And then I need a piece. Let me see if I can do this wide enough. I don't think I can. Nope. I'll get some basic white. That is 3 3/4 by 5. I have a bunch of swaps that I have to do, and some of them I have to use a certain set, and some of them I don't. So as I was making these, I'm thinking some of these might be my swap cards because I don't know. All right, so I have everything that's on here. Plain, floral, neutral is this one. Cardstock is that, and our card base. All right, bring my trimmer back in. Set this aside. And, whoops, sorry about that. I hit my camera. It says that I'm supposed to score it at 4 1/4. So I'm going to come in here and score it at 4 1/4. And then I want to cut off the top 2 1/2 inches. So I want to go from the top down 2 1/2. And there are measurements right along the side of my trimmer. And I don't know how well you can see that. But I can see right where 2 1/2 is right there. So I'm going to bring my cutting blade up to the top. And I'm going to cut it, push it down to cut it until I get to 2 1/2. And right there's 2 1/2. And I want the middle to be at 2 1/2. Then I'm going to turn my paper so that it's at 2 1/2. And I'm going to go down to 4 1/4 because that's how wide that is. And I'm going to move it up to the top just to cut that piece off. And I'm going to use this piece as well. Okay, so we're not wasting anything. I wanted to cut that with you just so that you could see how I did it. All right, this is going to be folded over. Get our bone folder going here. I also am using, I can't think of the name of this punch. No, it's not Modern Label. It's right here. Labeled with Love. Labeled with Love. I would have never come up with that. Okay, Labeled with Love. And I cut 2 of them. One in our peach pie, one in our basic white. And then I did in gold foil, I cut out a couple of these little fun things. And I cut out a couple of the leaves in gold foil. But then we also have all of these little cutout, like little leaves here. And we've got some leaves there. So we're going to kind of play at the end. And we've also got ribbon that we can use to make it pretty. So I'm going to let you guys vote on what you want to do. All right. I have, this is my label. And I'm going to use from the stamp set, it says, "To the Happy Couple." One of my customers was here for my Stamp-A-Stack. And she said, my son has forgot how many weddings he had this spring and this summer. I think it was like 6 weddings or something like that. And he's at that age where all of his friends are getting married. And so it looks like I have some. Can you see that? It looks like I have some paper or something. I just take tape and put tape on there and make sure that I get all the little fuzzies and all of that off, because it was sitting here on my counter. There we go. But anyway, she said for Christmas, he's going to get a bunch of wedding cards, because by the time you go to the store and buy wedding cards for all those weddings, it's really expensive. So when she was making these different designs, she's like, oh, I could put congratulations here. I could do that. And I could make this layout into a wedding card. And you absolutely could. Hi, Sherry from Australia. Welcome. Okay, so this says to the happy couple. And I'm going to stamp that, try to get it straight. I did pretty good. All right. And that is in the peach pie. And I would probably on the inside put like congratulations or something. The other stamp that they had was too long, because this is going to go here. And if it's stamped on there, you don't want the words showing on either side. So I would probably find just a simple congratulations and put it in the center of that. But I didn't have time to really look for anything. But I think there's one in that new Simple Banners stamp set. There's a couple of other ones out there with just a small little congratulations. All right, so how this is going to go together, this little fun piece that we have, it's so hard to put tape on that and flip that upside down when it's so pretty. That is going to go there. This is going to go on the inside. And again, I would stamp some sort of a greeting. I just didn't have one handy when I was quickly putting these together this afternoon. Hi, Shanna. And I have Smiley J. Awesome. Yeah. So I know that paper is so pretty. I think it's going to be on a lot of people's wish lists. All right. And then this is going to go in here. Whoops. My mouse isn't going to help me tape that. I do need my seal. For those of you that didn't see that, I picked up my mouse to start taping. All right, so that's that. And then this is going to get layered onto that peach pie layer. And it's just 1/8 of an inch bigger. So it's really just like a 1/16 of an inch around the side. And then that is going to get adhered to that piece that we cut off. See how quick this card layout is? Like you could put a whole bunch of these together in no time, right? All right, then this is going to go onto there. So I like to put some adhesive along the bottom. And then I like to put some adhesive right where the end is here so that it's nice and secure. And I don't accidentally put it up too high. And I'm centering this right to left, top to bottom. All right, and then I like to cut one of these in half. You can either do it this way and have it stick out the ends, or you can do it this way and have a little bit more on the top and the bottom. It doesn't matter either way. I had some people do it each way this weekend when they were making the cards. This was it said happiest of birthdays, and then it had a little greeting on the inside. And I used the paper. It's on the last chance list, and I'll bring it in here in a little bit. I don't have any sitting right here, I don't think. I don't. It's one thing I put away. Mostly I don't put things away in my stamp room, so go figure. The one thing that I'd like to pull out and show you is actually put away. Okay, and then I like to come in with my scissors and I don't, well, oh, I'm way off the camera. Can you see how it just kind of sticks out there a little bit? I just take my scissors and I just kind of round that a little bit so that on the ends it's flush and that the stuff is just sticking out the top and bottom. Oh my goodness. I'm having a hard time staying in the camera. Okay, so we're going to put this here and we're going to raise that up on some dimensionals. So we could do something like putting that there, and we could put 2 of them on the top. Okay, we could go like that and not put anything on the bottom. We could do that. So that's going to be option number 1. Option number 2 could be I would say option number 2, like maybe the leaf on the bottom and that on the top. Okay. We could put 2 of these. That'll be option 2. Option 3 is going to be like this. Okay, so I'll review. Option 1 is going to be 2 of these up here, like that. That's 1. 2 is going to be, this is up here, and the leaf is down here. That's 2. 3 is going to be 2 of these things, one at the top and one at the bottom. And then, let's see, let's do a 4th option here. Let's see what we've got in here. Instead of that gold foil, what if we did just the vellum? And we did like a little, how about just one of those either down in the bottom, or we could do 2 of them. There's 2 of them. So this would be option 4. And if we do option 4, then we would have to talk about what we'd add. How about if we do this? Option 1 is if you want to use this little leaf. Option 2 is if you want to use one of each. Option 3 is if you want to just use this one somewhere. Whether we use 2 of them or 1 of them, it doesn't matter. And option 4 is if we use a vellum thing. Go ahead and vote. 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1 is the leaf. 2 is one of each. 3 is just this thing, whether we use 1 or 2 of them. And then 4 is going to be the vellum. 2, 3. 1, 1, 3, 3. Oh my goodness. I should only have 2 options because when there's too many, then everybody's the same. 3, 3. Looks like 3's winning right now. Ooh, there's a couple more 3's. Changing to 3, LOL. Yep, it's a woman's prerogative to change her mind. You can do that, Melissa. 3. Okay, it looks like it's 3. So now the question is, do we want just one of them up in this corner? Oh, my option 4 could have been, or my 5 could have been if we wanted ribbon just done in the back. But we could, okay, here's our options. 1 would be just adding that up in that corner. 2 would be adding 2 of those. And 3 would be adding 1 of them and maybe a little bit of ribbon down here. So this would be 3 ribbon and 1 of them up in the corner. 2 would be having 2 of these, and 1 would be just doing this and not doing any ribbon. Okay, I've got 2 of them. I've got Okay, so now I need to know where 3 ends. Let's see. Betty said 3 at 7:23. So I think that means she wants option 3. So Amanda wants 2 of them. Denise wants 2 of them. Nancy wants the number 3 with the ribbon and the top. Shanna wants number 3. Amanda wants the 2. Kelly wants the 2. Smiley J wants the 3. Anyone else care? I can show you. Oh, no, I can't. I did mine with one of each when I did it. I don't know if I liked it. That's why I wanted you to add your opinions. Okay, so 2 of them. Ribbon is 3. Okay, 2, 2. It looks like it's between, it looks like mostly people want 2 of them. Smiley J is Joan. Thanks, Joan. I don't know why YouTube decided to do that. Okay, so 2 of them. So we want one up and we want one down like that. No ribbon at all. Looks like that is the majority of them. I've got 1, 2, I have 3 that wanted the ribbon, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that wanted 2 of them. So we'll do 2 of them. I'll do that. All right, so I'm going to just flip these over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of look at them and place them where I want them. I'm just going to take a little bit of tape. Put that there. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Does that look good? Do we want this one to come maybe down this way a little bit more so it's not like right off the side? There we go. I think that looks better. Otherwise it looks like it's that way and then really far that way. Let me bring this a little bit more. Yeah, I like that going down a little bit instead of going out. Otherwise it looks like it's kind of like we're trying to make it all one piece going horizontal. That looks pretty good. Everyone like that? All right, I'm going to pop that up on some dimensionals. Patty would have done number 3 with a ribbon. I just saw yours, Patty. I like to put the dimensionals right over the top of where I tape that to make sure it stays in place. I've got way more dimensionals than I need. All right. I'll put that up here. I like how this hangs off the side like that, though. Okay. Oh, yeah. Now we got some gems. I forgot to put gems on mine, so one that I did. Let's see. I think we're going to want to use, these are more like the Calypso Coral, which there is Calypso Coral in there, so we could do Calypso Coral. This is more of the pink, and this is a little bit more of like a really light, almost like a white, it looks like. Let's try each of them, and we'll see what we like when we put them on the paper. So I'm going to put a small one of each one on and see what it looks like. Put that color on. I'm not going to put these on. That's not how I'm going to be. So do you like the lighter one, 1, the medium one, 2, or the really dark one, 3? The first DSP card. The name of that is, let me look real quick. You guys can vote. 1 is the lighter, 2 is the middle, 3 is the dark. And it'll start after Linda's question. It was called Splash of Sparkles. And Kathy Miller looked it up, and it's going to be an online exclusive, the lightest one. So that's number 1. Shanna likes the darker one, 3. Melissa, 1. Denise, 2. Kelly Purpich, 2. 2. Looks like 2. 2. Okay. So I'm going to take off 3. Put it back on there so I can use it on a different card. I'm going to take off 1. Put that back on there. All right, how about if we put them, we put 1 up there and then a bigger one. So I'm doing number 2, correct? Yeah. Here we go. And then how about another little one? Kind of down here. Oh, that kind of looks neat in the center of that flower there. It just really sparkles. Oh, those things really sparkle. Look at how they sparkle. Oh, I like them a lot. Okay, so to the happy couple. I do like this on here because I think it makes it a little bit more elegant for a wedding card, right? You could also, I did mess around a little bit, and I don't know if I have them here yet, but I did mess around with heat embossing, with gold heat embossing on peach pie paper. I didn't really like that. I never did do the heat embossing on the white though, to see what that looks like. That might look really nice to have that gold embossed instead of having it the peach pie color, but there we go. And I would put just like a little congratulations right in there. The one that I had was like super long. It went the whole length, and I'm like, oh, I don't know that I want to line it up, and I don't know if I want it down that far on the center of my card, on the inside of my card. So I would just find a little congratulations. All right, so that is card 2. So this, again, this was one of the designs that I used for, and here's the dimensions. So if you came to that Stamp-A-Stack, I can't show you those because, like I said, I gave them away already. But if you came to that Stamp-A-Stack and you were wondering, gosh, what were the dimensions of that so I could remake it? These are the dimensions, and you could go ahead and take a copy or a picture of that or screenshot of that if you want. And I have all these extra little pieces that I'm going to save because who knows, I might put them on a different card. All right, we've got one more card because I told you I would do 3 because I didn't go live last week. So I hope you can hang with me just a little bit longer. I know it's been an hour already. I talked too much at the beginning. I was just so giddy about my nursing home experience last night with the middle school kids. So many people told me middle school kids aren't going to be able to do that. It's going to be a disaster. They're going to sit there and they're not going to do anything. And I showed them. They showed them. They showed them that they could do it. All right. So there's our card number 2. All right. Let me set this aside. And I got to go get card number 3. Card number 3 is something that is available right now already because it's the Brushed with Beauty. So this is the suite of products that I have to use for a swap that I'm in. Whoops, I moved myself in a little bit. And so I'm showing you one of the swap cards that I'm making. I like how it turned out, but I think I forgot to die cut something. So I think we might have to die cut something, but that's okay. It'll be okay. Really will. All right, this is another one where we're going to be using some of the designer paper to stamp on. I just love using that technique sometime. All right, so this is an easel card. We made one of these a couple of weeks ago. This was the card that we made right here. Do you remember this one? Where it stands up like that, and then it had that on the inside. So we're going to make a card. Oops, my glue dot is falling out. We're going to make a card like that, but we're going to be using this Brushed with Beauty stamp set. So as a reminder of all of the dimensions, this is 4 1/4 inches by 11, and I scored it at 2 1/8. I don't know if you can see that, but that's 2 1/8. I scored it at 4 1/4. That's 4 1/4. And then I scored it at 5 1/2. Okay, so that's where all of those are. All right, then I had some coordinating cardstock. And I have 2 pieces that are 4, whoops, not that. These 2 pieces are 4 by 1. So they're going to go right there. Whoops, I'm off the screen. And they're also going to be what's raised to stand my easel card up. And then I have 2 pieces that are 4 by 1 7/8, and they're going to go in each of these 2 regions. And we're going to put some designer paper on those. I am the layering queen. What was the name of the embellishments? The embellishments were called pearlized faceted circles. Pearlized faceted circles. And they are the gems that will be with that whole suite of products in this new mini catalog, which I can't open for you right now. But the whole suite of products is usually what the name of the designer paper is, which is called Lovely and Beautiful Suite. And it has that paper, it has those gems, it has the ribbon I showed you, and that ephemera pack. Okay, the paper that I'm using for my little strips is this fun Brushed with Beauty paper with the little flowers in it. These each measure 7/8 inch by 3 7/8. So one of them is going to go on there. One's going to be on the inside. And then I have 2 pieces of this plainer, the plain paper, which is 3 7/8 by 1 3/4. And those are going to just be layered on there. Isn't that fun? Okay, so this is what our card's going to look like. I did take a Very Vanilla. This is a stitched, it's the largest of the Stylish Shapes. And I don't know, this is the embossing folder. My lights are really bad here. Do you see that pattern on there? Oh, isn't that cool? I embossed that. There we go. I embossed that on this circle that's going to go on here. Okay, then we have, this is one of the labels that I die cut from the dies. So here are our Petals of Beauty. Okay, so I'm going to cut out this right here. And I did that in, I think I cut it out. I did. Mossy Meadow. Okay, so there's our Mossy Meadow. So we're going to use that. I also used a Spotlight on Nature die, and this will get layered right on top of there. So that's going to go on there. Oh, I loved that. All right, we're going to do a little bit of stamping for stuff that we need. So I'm going to bring in some Very Vanilla. Oh, this is my Very Vanilla. I think I forgot to type it before I printed it. This measures 4 by 2 7/8, and that's going to be for the inside. All right, so on this paper, I'm going to use some Calypso Coral ink. I love that my ink pads are right in front of me now, so I don't have to have them all over my counter to do a live. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the outline. I'm not going to do the background at all because my background is just going to be this paper. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that outline. Oh, doesn't that look cool to just use the paper? And then I'm going to use the center part. I'm done with Calypso Coral. I can put that back. The yellow that it says is in there is Daffodil Delight. So I'm just going to ink that up and stamp some of that in the center. You can hardly see, but the paper that I was using had yellow in the center, so I thought I would use the yellow in the center. All right, then I have a scrap of Very Vanilla, and I'm going to take just the outline piece, and I'm going to stamp that twice in the Darling Duckling. Did I say Daffodil Delight? I meant Darling Duckling. I don't know where my cleaner is, but I'm going to be using an early espresso, so it'll cover up that Darling Duckling. And I'm going to stamp that early espresso in the center of each of these. Okay, that's the flowers. And then I need some Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to do the detail. of my leaves, full strength. Okay, and then I'm going to take the solid part, and I don't know where my stamping pad went, oh, here it is. I think I'm going to need it for this one. It's a little bit bigger piece, so I'm going to go ahead, ink that up, and stamp it off. And there we go. Okay, now we have dies to cut all of this stuff out. And through the magic of TV, here are these 2 flowers. Here's that. And here's that. All cut out already for us. Isn't that wonderful? I love the magic of TV. All right, I'm going to put this Mossy Meadow back. We're going to bring our Calypso Coral back. And I'm going to stamp the greeting from the second stamp set in that bundle, the Just Because and all of that. There's one that says, you've been on my mind. And I loved that saying. Kind of like a thinking of you, right? You've been on my mind. I got to stand up because I got to make sure I get this straight. I need to get right over the top of this. Perfect. All right. And then on the inside, I'm using, this is not from the same stamp set. This is from, it's a new one that has all of the sympathy and really cool greetings on it. And it just says sending love. So you've been on my mind and I'm sending love. And it looked like it was almost the same font. It was like it was meant to go together. So that is all of our stamping. All right, let me bring my chair back and I'll sit down again so you don't have to look at my body. Instead, you can look at my face again. All right, let's start putting this all together. I love this card, if I do say so myself. I hope that the people who are in the swap will like it as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a good burnish. Oh my gosh, it was so cute this week. I was designing cards for our make and takes, and I was doing some stuff on Tuesday when my upline Kelly had a team party virtually for us because she has people all over the country. She does hers virtually, and I was kind of watching it, and she ended up having her granddaughter at her house because her grandson had a fever. So they were kind of, I think, trying to keep them separated. So she had her sleeping over. And so she did all the stuff. She knew the word burnish. She knew how to do everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, she could be a little Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And she's only like 4 years old, 4 or 5 years. I think she's 5 actually now. Yeah. So I'm just layering these. Again, I just did 1/8 of an inch difference. And if you are more of a 1/4 inch person, just cut the designer paper to be, this is 7/8. You could just do it at 3/4 instead of 7/8 if you wanted to. Okay, so one of these is going to go right across the top here. Let's see where that fold is. Gosh, I feel like okay. I feel like it's bigger than 4 1/4 inches wide. Maybe I didn't cut it right. Who knows? But it looks like there's more space on the right and left than there is on the top and bottom. But Just going to go with it. Okay, and that inside one is going to come right here, and that's going to go up on dimensionals, so it has a place to stop the easel card. So I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. And I'm just going to put that right there. So this can stand up and they can display it. This we're going to tape down. You could use something that's a little bit stronger than, this is just Stampin' Seal. It's not Stampin' Seal Plus, so go ahead and close that up. Oh my gosh. All right, now, we're going to put this on the inside. This is going to go right here, like that. And that's 4 by 2 7/8. I forgot to, I was measuring it and I'm like, oh shoot, I should just print. And then I realized, oh, but I needed to put that measurement in there. So I just wrote it in. All right, we're going to build our little circle here. This is the fun part, like putting this all together. All right, so I'm going to glue this down onto the Calypso Coral. I love this fold. Like I said, I just did it a couple weeks ago, but when I was doing my swaps, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to use that because I just absolutely love it. Okay, this is going to go in here, and I really can probably pull some of this off because it's going to be hidden by other flowers and my label. So I'm going to take just some glue dots, I think, and put that down. Let's see here. My goodness, I'm almost out of glue dots here. I've got more in my cupboard. Might even have more at my other station. I do. I'm going to go get the other pack. It's a roll. All right. So I'm just going to put those, that about like that. Okay, and then I'm going to put this sort of down here. I'm just going to kind of dry fit everything. And I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to put that there. This is going to go, I kind of figured out the way that it looked the best. I think it was kind of like this with this big one like to the side. Yeah, and that's going to pop under a little bit more. And then this is going to go right in there. Oh, doesn't that look cool? Now, someone told me once that you should use press and seal. Like when you get it where you want it. I haven't done this, but their suggestion was, I think I'm going to have this actually go more like that. Once you have everything where you want it, you take some press and seal and you put it over the top. And then you can flip it over and you can put all of your, like your glue and all of that kind of stuff on. I'm going to put this on dimensionals and everything else is going to go flat. So I'm just going to kind of sneak this out from underneath here. Pop that where I had it. Has anyone ever used the press and seal before? I've seen it a bunch of times, but I have to say that I have not used it yet. I've seen people do it and I'm like, oh, that's so smart. Why don't I ever remember that when I'm putting together a card like this? And then we'll pop this up on some dimensionals. Put one more on over here. Like to have it so that it's not unbalanced, because otherwise it's not real nice going through the mail. So we'll go, I think the flower's got to go a little bit more like that because of how I have them on here. Let's see. Maybe I want this down here. That looks sideways. It's got to go this way. I must have moved it too much. Let's move this over a little bit. There we are. Okay, and then before I put this on here, I am going to take some of our, sure I am, Baker's Twine. Here we go, right in with the stamps. I can open up the little plastic bag. Oh, thanks, Patty. I think I said that already. Kind of trying to keep up with the comments. All right, and I'm just going to tie a really big bow. Not really big bow, but a kind of big bow. I'm going to keep the tails a little bit longer so that I can cut them as long as I want. And I'm going to just kind of dry fit where this is going to go, about right there. So I'm going to put that about right here. Okay. I want to kind of have the knot right underneath where that is. Those are really long right now, so we'll trim those up a little bit. That's going to go about right there. So what I did was I kind of looked to see where it would be touching the circle, and that's where I'm going to come in with some little mini glue dots. This took me forever, and my one that I can show you that I had done already is really a sample because I pulled it off so many times that it's actually kind of a little warped. Okay, I'm going to put this up here. There we go. Stick this under here. And that's probably all we're going to really need. And then that just kind of, little foo-foo. We'll add a few little gems and stuff to this as well. All right, so now this is going to go on the front of our card, but we have to make sure that we only adhere the bottom so that it will stand up like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add some there, add some there. My Hupin on my mind is a little crooked. I must have put my circle on a little bit. Sideways, there we go. All right, so that stands up like that in a little easel card. And let's add a few gems. I thought I had some gems here. Where did I put them? I had a brand new pack of the gems that go with this suite of products. And okay, remember when I said I was going to look up the paper that I made that other card in? This was the paper that I made that, the card that looks like this. I had used this with some Timid Tiger. That was the pattern. All right, come on, gems. You know, we could probably just use the ones that I used on that last card. And we'll just call it a day. Because I don't know what I did with the pack of gems. I thought they were sitting right inside of my little container here. And I don't know if I took them out when I pulled stuff out or what I did with them, but they're not handy right this second. And they're not up where this paper was sitting before I pulled it. Just double check. Well, you know what? I might have an extra pack of them. I do. I have an extra pack of them here. So there we go. I have a lot of these. Okay. So we'll open this pack up. I'm going to go through a pack anyway. I've got to make a bunch of these for a swap. So I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of them down in this corner over here. And then I think I'm going to put one maybe right there. There we go. And definitely need some Wink of Stella. The stamp set. This is called, right here, Petals of Beauty. And these are the dies that come with it. So you can get where you can like make your own flower without having to stamp it. Or you can do like I did where you stamp it. And there's two-step stamping. I chose not to use the second part of it and just use the outline of the yellow because when I looked at these flowers, they were kind of like a very vanilla with just the outline being yellow. So I just did the outline of yellow. I probably should have put yellow in the center instead of brown, but I looked at that one and it had brown. So that's where the brown came from. So there is our card. So you think that's a good one for a swap? Press and seal does make it easier. Yeah, Sue's used it. I can tell. I have to get some to put in my stamp room. I have finally put a thing of wax paper in here because did you know that when you have dies that don't like to come out, if you rub them with wax paper, like probably cutting out like the next 4 or 5 of them, they will just completely come out and you won't have to use your take your pick tool to pull anything out. For example, these traditional dies, if anyone's gotten these and you've been frustrated with them because you're like, oh my gosh, I can't get them out. And for these, they don't have like the exit places where you can push to get them out. So for the longest time, I was really, really struggling with them. And then I think I saw it with Susan Campfield, I think was the person. Let me grab some. And I remember doing this a really long time ago and I just kind of forgot about it. But if you just take some wax paper and you just take and you rub wax paper on it like this, and you just get that wax paper on there and you go ahead and you run it through, it will just completely come out. It doesn't stay stuck in it again. And you can probably run it through about 3 or 4 times at least with it coming out. And then you'll notice it's starting to stick again. And you just got to take and rub some wax paper on it again. And then it comes out. So I know I tried using the dryer sheets with this one. And what happened is the dryer sheets got stuck to the paper because it got so far stuck in there. So I found that the easiest thing for me to use on these was the wax paper. Or if you run it through on a dryer sheet and you pull that dryer sheet out, it kind of has the same effect as the wax paper for a few times after you cut it. So, all right, let me go ahead and put this here. All right, so there is our, I don't know which way is best, like that, lay it flat. Let me move this down a little bit. So there are your dimensions with the card. And you can pop it up. So if you want to take a picture like that as well, so you remember that that's where the other strip goes. So there's card number 3. Here is our card number 2. I just got to get the directions. And then our card number 1. I don't know where I'm going to put it. Let's see. I'll slide this up a little bit. Whoops. And our card number 1. Yeah. If I wasn't in the picture, there we go. I can go, nope, let's go this way a little bit with it. There we go. And then here is the card. There we go. That's about the best I can do. So there are your 3 cards. Thanks for being patient and me canceling at the last minute last week. Just a reminder of the free shipping that's going on through tomorrow. So if there's anything that you need, make sure you get it now when you can save a little bit on shipping. I don't know when they'll do it again. I should show you too. I did get the product of the month. Oh, and I don't have everything in here. I was going to do something with the product of the month. Look at how pretty this paper is. So our product of the month is something new that Stampin' Up! Is doing, where every month they will come out with a new product that if you place a 70, 75, 50, I think it's a $75 order. You can get this for $5. So this is just 2 of the sheets. I don't think I have any other ones in here. But I was going to do this card. I was going to do with that and navy. And then I decided, oh, let's just do this. This is so fun. So, but yeah, this, I don't know if anyone's got the product. Yep, it is $75. That's what I thought. I don't know if anybody else got the product of the month, but you can only get it once. So if you place 2 $75 orders, you can't get a second one. So just so you know that. I think that's about it. Let me come back to you here. Here I am. Thank you so much for joining me. I know I went a little bit long and it's a little bit late. It's time for me to go grab some supper. Oh, Karen's waiting for her paper of the month or product of the month. It's not always going to be paper, but that's a good deal, isn't it? For 12 by 12, normally it's like $12.95 or something, and we got it for $5. So bummer when you're a demonstrator though, and you want to do it with a class, you only get 1 pack because I usually need multiple packs to do any sort of class that I do. So unless I do just some small strips of it, then it would work. So yeah, Kelly bought hers and it's beautiful. I know, I really liked it a lot. So it kind of reminded me a little bit about that Countryside Inn paper that we had a while back that had these colors as well. But I thought that the patterns were really pretty. So I think that's it. Let's see what's next week. Next week I will still be live. Next week is the 18th. Lila has a vet appointment. I have a hair appointment, but it's not at the time that I do this. And I think I'm taking that day off again, vacation day. And then the week after that, I will not, because that will be Christmas Day. So I haven't decided if I'll go the day after Christmas. I might just go on that Friday because I'm taking off of work that Friday where our office is closed. So it doesn't pay for me to be there when no one's going to be around. I might as well take vacation. So I will probably go the 26th the week after. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I so appreciate stamping with you and spending this time with you. I did miss you last week, even though I didn't have anything ready to go for you. I really felt like maybe I should just jump on and say hi to everyone. So anyway, hope you have the great weekend. I hope you can find some time to be creative. I'm going to hope that I get my Christmas cards done and get everything done for my Christmas party. So you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.